All right, Lagos, it is 18 minutes. Well, technically, it is 19 minutes gone past five, and you tuned in to Business Hub here on Smooth 98.1, where we love music, we love laughing, we love having great conversations. And today's not going to be any different. However, today on Business Hub, we'll be taking a look at default risks and lending in Nigeria. And my guest who will be joining me virtually is Oni Samson Oloruntoba. He is the head of risk, asset, and liability at Charis Microfinance Bank Limited. Good evening. Good to have you here with me.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for having me here.
All right, Lagos, as always, you get to be a part of the conversation. And if you have any idea of a new business, obviously, you know that once the start of any business, you're always looking for how you can get a loan. And SMEs that have often gotten off the ground need loans to fund their operations, as we know. It's either credit is, as I say, credit is actually vital to the business, but loans in Nigeria seems to or tend to be expensive. But our guest will talk us through why that is and why or how we can get the ones that work best for us. You know what? Let's even break it down. Let's start from the beginning, as they say. Um, I'd love you to explain or help us walk us through what how we can get access to finance. What are the things we need to look forward to, or we have to have in place, and why is it sometimes so hard for startups to even get such access to those finances? Oh, yeah, you can go ahead.
Sorry, can you please take that again? I think my reception is a bit bad.
Oh, okay. So I was asking really. So, with every business that's trying to start up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're always trying to access loans or trying to access finance to start up their business. Why is it hard for them to even get access in the first place?
Yeah, thank you very much for the question.
You're
Number
welcome.
one, for a startup business, it's a bit difficult for them to access a loan, basically because there's no track record. Some of the new business, they don't have a collateral. There's no track record that can show that they've done something in the past. In fact, there's no statement to show that. So and the part of the major requirement is for you to be able to show this is my statement. I have 1 year statement. I've been in this business for like 2 years. I have this turnover. I have this collateral. And for a
Mm.
startup, all of these are very difficult for them to get. And I wouldn't say a loan company will not just want to give a loan without all of these things in place.
I get that. I get that. That's actually that's tricky when you think about the in its entirety because hey, I don't know anything about you, but I want to fund your business. Mm, very tricky situation. But let's even get into this because I know that you are the head of risk and liabilities. So if
Head of sales, not risk.
oh, okay, head of sales. All right.
Thank you.
All right. So if a 25-year-old that has no prior work experience works into your microfinance bank now to get a loan to start a business, what are the chances of him or her getting that loan?
Oh, I must be frank with you. I must be sincere with you. That might be difficult because
Okay.
somebody must have a business idea.
Very true.
You cannot just walk into a loan company that you want to take a loan without you having a business idea. You should have
Mhm.
at least say, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to open a salon. Before you go to that business, you must have an idea of it, about it. You must know
Okay.
what you want to do.
Mhm.
So, and you must also be able to have somebody who's going to be, this person is going to be my guarantor, or this is going to be my collateral.
Mm.
So if it works like that, everybody can just walk in to Harris maybe to say, I want to take a loan. And we may not even be where we are today. So it's a bit difficult.
Now that you put it that way, now that's really steep coming from for anyone who's actually thinking of getting in that space. You cannot just walk in and you think, okay, they say I should just come. No, it's not like that. So you have to get certain things in place. But why are loans in Nigeria even expensive? Why are they so difficult to get? Even for
Yeah,
those who are, as you say, have the, the necessary documents, if I should put
well,
it that way.
first thing first, I would say why loan is a bit difficult. Number one, our lending as our MPR rate currently is 27.5.
Okay.
And if you look at other things that are involved, as if source of fund is expensive, you should expect that when you want to lend it out or you want to give it out, it's also
Hmm.
need to attract some benefit. Remember that, for example, you give me money that I should keep for you with an
Yeah.
agreement, I'm going to pay you some benefit on it. You wouldn't want to
Hmm.
hear a story. And how do I generate those benefits is when I give it out. When I give it
Okay.
out on loan, that's where I'll be able to pay you your money. Also, there are some
Mm.
costs that are going to be factor into it, like operational
Okay.
costs and all of those things. And then most people that will give us loan, many of them don't give a long time loan, a long time deposit. Like now,
Mm.
people will say, I just want to give you 3 months. I just want to give you 6 months and all of that. And basically, before you could enjoy a deposit, you need to have a 65 days. So all of these things are what contributed to the high rate on loan.
Mm. Now, just thinking about that just makes it even more, it makes a person start to think, do I really want to put myself in that space? Uh, it's even just it just feels like, oh no, you shouldn't even put your leg in that water because as I said, the water can just carry you away to where you do not know.
Yeah.
But what whilst we're still on this conversation, right? I want to know what role really does lack of data play in getting access to loan defaulters at microfinance level?
Yeah, if there's a lack of data, uh, it will make some decision. You can make want to make a wrong decision.
Okay.
Like for example, we as an MFB, a part of what we use to get an access to an individual information, like a credit bureau. When
Mm-hmm.
you check all of those information, you have an access to say, okay, is this person credit worthy? Has this
Mm.
person accessed the loan before? Does it pay very well?
Okay.
But if there's a lack of data, you won't be able to have access to the information. And you just see that you just apportion or you just approve loans to someone who is not worthy to access the loan in your company. So, but when the data are in place, you'll be able to get all of this information. Then you can
Mm.
make your decision rightly.
Okay. So data is absolutely important in this space. If one doesn't even have it, then how do you even track anyone? And talking
Yeah,
about tracking, right? I know that we have various uh means of identification. There's NIN, there's BVN, and so many other ways that one can actually be tracked. Um, One of the things that actually is even, because of what you said, you know, so many so many other forms of identification out there, or even trying to figure out who this person is and what the person has. Isn't that like enough data for anyone out there to be properly identified? And then you now say, okay, I know you. This is I know as a result of probably your NIN, you have your BVN and all that. So I can say that this is who you are, have your address, I can follow through, and then you can now use that as probably a collateral for that person who's trying to get loans or something of that sort.
yeah. Thank you for this question. You know, NIN and likes of all that valid ID card we have, in exception of BVN,
Right.
NIN can only be used to verify your identity, to show
Okay.
your name and your identity. Why the
Right.
BVN is the only one that will speak to your repayment history. BVN is the only
Mm,
one that will show this person is credit worthy. He has a seamless credit history with so organization when he or she assesses a loan. But NIN, international passports, voters, all of those things can only be used as a means of identity.
Okay.
Why BVN is the only one that speaks to repayment live.
Okay. So now in that instance, so nothing of that sort could be used to, because I've heard where so I've seen some updates on well on online platforms that tell you, oh, you don't we don't need your BVN. I think I've seen something along those lines. We don't need collateral to actually give you certain loans. So it makes me wonder, okay, so what makes those ones go ahead and just offer such services, and then on others they say, okay, no, that's not our policy. That's not how we work here. But you know what? We'll definitely. I'd like you to marinate on that. We have a quick breather here coming up. Let's take that quick breather. Lagos, I'd love to know if you've also had at any point in time taking a loan or try to access a loan, and what your experience was like. What you can do is share your thoughts with me on WhatsApp 0809 4440981. Let's take this quick breather. On the other side, we'll definitely continue the conversation here on Business Hub and Smooth 98.1. Just have a quick break and we'll go back in.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Ladies in Sport International Summit is coming up on June 12th and 13th at the Balmoral Hall for a group 5 years in Lagos. We're celebrating a major milestone in years of empowering women in sport. Join us for inspiring discussion, networking opportunities, and a celebration of female excellence in sport. And that's not all. We've got a special treat for you. A mini concert to send off our national team as they embark on their national assignment. Don't miss it. Mark your calendars for 2012 and 13. Register now and be part of this unforgettable experience. For registration, visit www.ladiesinsport.com. This event is proudly supported by Smooth 98.1 FM, Stanbic IBTC, Ladies in Sports International Summit, where women in sport thrive.
Simple rules for driving safely around Lagos. Did you know that the highway code has rules about informative signs? Warning signs are usually triangular in shape with a red perimeter. The only one warning sign with an inverted triangle means yield or give way.
All right, Lagos, it is 32 minutes, Campus 5, and you tuned in to Business Hub here on Smooth 98.1. And today we're taking a look at default risks and lending in Nigeria. Have you ever tried to get some loan of some sort? And were you successful? What was the process like for you? Was it seamless? Definitely would love to hear from you. And what you can do is share your experience with us on WhatsApp. The number is 0809 4440981. And my guest is Oni Samson Oloruntoba. He's the head of sales and liability at Charis Microfinance Bank Limited. And well, he's been giving us insights on the things and how it's been, trying to access funds, especially for businesses that are just trying to start up. And talking about that, right, I was asking how is it that when it comes to certain platforms, or like especially the online platforms, they make it look like, oh, it's so easy. You don't even need any stress. You don't need any collateral. You just come and take the funds that you need and off you go. And it makes me wonder, so are there certain things that how is this possible?
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
So
Go
sorry if
ahead.
I get Is it possible to access a loan without collateral?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Maybe basically for salary earners.
Okay.
Salary earners when you have a track record of where you work and either by your official email address or by putting a KYC in place, I think a salary earner can access loans without collateral. But
Okay.
because of a recent syndicate that happened in our country, like jackpot syndrome, and that we find our lot of our salary earners who makes use of that avenue. That's why some companies like us put in place that, okay, you give us a guarantor. If you have a vehicle that, that can at least worth of it 120 or 150% to the loan you're requesting for, you can give us. Because, salary loans are loans that you cannot even determine, even if you have the official email. You don't know, maybe the person resigned immediately when
They
you
got
access
the
give the
funds.
loan,
Ah.
or maybe he has even resigned. He's using the tenure that is supposed like 2 weeks notice and notice period to access the loan. So all of those things are what we put in place. I was okay. If you want to access a loan from us, a salary, and we will give you, but you
Right.
need to at least give us some assurance.
That you'll be able to pay
Yeah.
up.
Yes. Yes.
That is very important. And I know that earlier on you were talking about having credit bureaus in Nigeria. I know we do have them, but is it that you don't rely on them to get loan information from potential borrowers? Because if you have access to them, then that means if anyone is coming up and says, "Oh, okay, I want to get some facilities to do so and so and so," you should be able to reach out to them to get the information you need.
Yes, yes, you're right. But in some cases, and most time, the coverage is still limited. And
Mm,
as it is now, for the first time, if you access a loan, not until the end of the month before you make a report to CRIB before they have it updated. So at times, someone can even access the two loans at the time that you may not know. Because if I access a loan from me at the first of the month, not
okay.
until the end of that month before I report it. I cannot go and report immediately. So
Mm,
it's still, and there's some companies don't even report it. So it shows at most time when you want to check, you see some people, you say no information
no
found,
information.
nothing found. So all of those things. That's why we're using other method.
Right. That is very interesting indeed. Okay. Well, still on the conversation, indeed an interesting one, if I should say. So Lagos, if you have also accessed funds at any point in time, or you've gone through any loan, and I'd love to know how the process was for you, anyways. So come through 0809 444 0981 and share your experience. And talking about experience, I want to know, how can the business environment in Nigeria play a role in actually reducing the cost of borrowing?
Yes, thank you so much. Improving the business environment, that's we need to also reduce the risk for both lenders and the borrower. For instance,
Okay.
if there's a stable power supply, this will
Mm,
reduce a business overhead. All those expenses, I want to buy diesel, I want to buy all of that, that will
true,
reduce.
true.
And if you also have a reliable infrastructure, this will lower logistic cost. And I think other point I would like to talk about is predictable policies. Those are the things that increases our investors' confidence. And then, for example, when I'm talking about that, when business become more viable,
Yeah.
loan defaulted reduce and lenders can lower their rates. If all of these things are in place and somebody who can give you a long time, investor can give you a long time period, like 365 days, all of that, and the rate you are getting is cheaper and even MPR rate is a bit down, there's no reason why you say you want to make things difficult for your customers.
I get what you mean now. Indeed, you wouldn't want to make life difficult for them. You wouldn't want, especially when they'll be running, they'll see you, they start running away. So
Yes.
yeah, it does actually make sense at the end of the day. But what can um government actually do to reduce the cost of borrowing from either any of the financial institutions or any of that sort, borrowing in general?
Like what I just said recently, they need to subsidize rates
Okay.
for some sectors like agriculture and youth businesses. Yes, you also
Mm.
need to provide credit guarantee for small scale businesses. And they also need to improve legal enforcement to make loan recovery faster and fair.
Mm.
All of these things are in place. Basically, if they can subsidize rates, everybody will be fine. Both the
Okay.
lender and the borrower will be okay.
That is good to know. So let's even talk about access, trying to access finances. Because I know that to get access to any of this financial institutions, what actually needs to be done to give say maybe the vulcanizer who's down the road, or even the person who's trying to start up a business, access to such financial inclusion? How can they, okay, so I don't have all the funds I need to start my business, but I want to start something small. I know you said have a business plan. Okay, I have the business plan. What do I do? How do
Yeah,
I go about it?
that is where charisma can come in. Firstly, we need to promote, we need to make people to now have the understanding why most things should go digitalized. Then that's where our usage of app comes in.
Okay.
You have a business idea, you want to access a loan. Then you need to, I think what we need to do, we build an agent banking network for
Mm,
people like that. Agent banking network for rural and informal environment. All of this will help them to achieve their aim. And we also need to use alternative by using data like mobile money, airtime, and all of those things. They can mix all of that. I think with that, they can achieve what they want.
mm. That is fair indeed. And my last
And then,
question.
sorry,
Go
we
ahead.
need to also provide a financial education to them. You may have,
Ah.
you may have a business idea, you may not know how
Mm-hmm.
to start with it. Somebody who have a
Mm,
business idea who has not been into the business before, without that training, I don't think it may, even if you give that person 10 million naira, it may misuse the fund. So you need
mm,
to provide financial education for them.
okay. Mm, that is actually important. But here's the thing I wanted to ask before I let you go. Um, and we see how technology is being used right now, right? We see how it is great to use and just help buffer with things. I know you said you made mention of an app earlier on, but I want to know, how can technology also improve in all these processes? What are the things that they can actually do to improve access to credits for those who are trying to access access funds, especially for those who are unbanked, because we have a lot of unbanked people out there who don't have bank accounts and all that. So how do you make how can they also be a part of the process?
Yeah, and in marketing is what we call door-to-door marketing. We
Okay.
just need to carry all of this. We need to get to where they are. Because if they don't have access to, well, I want to believe more than 80% of Nigerians now, youth now, they have access to Android phone, if not a iPhone. And
Mm-hmm.
like a company like ours, we have a link that with a link within a seconds, you have an account opened. So once you can do all of that, you upload whatever you need to upload, then you can access. I don't think anywhere you are, that which since you are MFB, if you are within Lagos, we can deal with you. Anywhere you are, then you talk to us. Once we can verify whatever you do, you can access our phone.
All right. That is actually good. It's easy. Just hearing you makes it easier to understand that okay, it's not rocket science. All you need is the right knowledge and ask the right questions so
Very
that
well.
yeah, so you can access any sort of funds that you need. But indeed, it is great to have spoken to you and for you to have broken things down. So if one wants to get access to you to, access to probably not necessarily get loans, but get more information on things that they can put in place in getting funds for businesses and the likes. How can they reach out to you? Your social media handle that they can, just
So
reach out and get out all the information.
they can easily log into our website and
Okay.
ask the questions. There's an automated response who will lead you directly to an account officer who will take it up to you. Or
All
you
right.
send an email address to sales@carismfb.com. Sales@carismfb.com. And I can give my contact if you don't mind. So whoever that I want to talk to.
No, the the email will actually make a whole
All
lot of
right.
sense. It'll be better
All
that
right.
way for them to
All
get
right.
more access to you. So
Sales@carismfb.com.
all right. Thank you so much for your time. Yes, just spoke to Oni Samson Oloruntoba. He's been very helpful in sharing all the information, especially for those who are, trying to get access to funds and all that. And I trust that you will have yourself a pleasant evening. Hopefully, it's not raining in your neck of the woods.
Hey, just stop here. It is raining here.
Oh,
Just stop.
awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Lucky you then. So I'm sure you can't wait to just get on home and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Very welcome. All right, Lagos, that's where we'll draw a curtain today on Business